everyone, it's your girl Layla. Welcome back to my channel.
No matter what they try, I'll stay by your side. It's you and
Okay, so I have been wanting to do one of these videos for the past 3 years, and I haven't really caught Larch season in time. It's either like Larch season's already passed or it's during Larch season when I'm like, oh, maybe I should film my top favorite Larch hike video. But I'm finally doing it. I'm doing it ahead of time this year, and right now, as of when I'm filming this video, the larches have not changed color just yet, so you guys do have a few weeks to do some research on these hikes and decide which one you want to do. Also, I always have an abundance of hiking vlogs and summer videos, summer vlogs, and that sort of content that I can never post these types of videos, but honestly, I thought I would just finally get it over with. I am super behind on my hiking vlogs, you guys. I seriously have like 12 videos still on my phone from this past summer. So we're gonna get into that, and if you guys are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's get right into the video. I'm gonna try to organize this the best way that I can. There's only 5 on this list because I could have chosen a whole lot more than 5. I tried to keep this to the top 5 favorites, and I also tried to organize this by easiest to hardest. So hopefully I did a good job on that. All of these are over 10K, just FYI. So I guess that would mean that these are pretty moderate in distance. I think 10K hikes are actually pretty short for me. Now that I've been doing this for so long now, I feel like 10K isn't a whole lot. But if you are a beginner, 10K can be quite a lot. So these are kind of more intermediate type hikes. But the first one, I feel like anyone can do it. It's not that hard. So the first one I have on my list is, of course, Larch Valley and Sentinel Pass. Now you can make this easier, you can make it harder. If you want to make it easier, just do Larch Valley, but you can go all the way to Sentinel Pass as well. I've done both multiple times. I try to go back every Larch season because this area is truly magical, and it's on the banks of Moraine Lake, so it is a very, very stunning hike. One thing to note if you are planning to do this year, which I am planning to do it this year, is that you have to book a shuttle ahead of time. You have to book it through Parks Canada. You do have to park in Lake Louise to catch the shuttle up to Moraine because they are limiting crowds. That's a thing now. So Larch Valley and Sentinel Pass is 11.1K with an elevation of 749 meters. So it's not too bad for this list in particular, but I think this hike is stunning. If you go for peak Larch season, honestly, back in the day, you would have to drive to Moraine Lake and camp out in the parking lot starting at 3 a.m. That was actually a thing, and that's something that I did. But I think that's one of my most amazing experiences doing Larch Valley and Sentinel Pass was when my friend and I made it to the parking lot at 3 a.m. and we watched the sunrise from Sentinel Pass. The sunrise wasn't like particularly amazing that day because it was so cloudy, but it was still a great experience, and we got to see all these headlamps come up the trail. I just remember being so cold, but it was definitely a great experience. And if you guys want the classic Instagram photos with all the larch trees and the mountains in the background, this is your best bet. Okay, coming in at the number 2 spot is Burstall Pass, and this is something I did last Larch season, and I'm planning to do Burstall to French and Robertson Glacier hopefully this year at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this Larch season, but I really hope it's going to be because this whole area is absolutely gorgeous. I think this hike is pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of elevation gain. I'll tell you guys the stats on it. It's just the distance that might be a factor to whether you choose to do this hike or not, because it is a pretty long one. So this one is 16.2K with an elevation gain of 654 meters. So definitely less elevation gain than Sentinel Pass, but it is a longer distance. Okay, so this trail is absolutely stunning. during peak Larch season. I did a bunch of photos, a bunch of videos, like reels and stuff last year. I did a whole full video. I will leave everything, by the way, linked in the description box below if you want to check out every single hike that's on this list just by itself and give you guys kind of an idea on how the trail is. But this one is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It's just long, but the views are absolutely stunning. You can make this shorter or longer again if you want. I do recommend at least getting to Burstall Pass, but you can keep going. There is Lehman Lake on this trail as well. And Lehman Lake I did not get to last year because I had a flight to catch the next day and it was a very, very long day to get there, but you can make this longer. You can walk through seriously like larch trees galore, like literally walking through a larch forest. You can catch a glimpse of Mount Birdwood on this one, which I love photographing that peak. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that's Burstall Pass. My third recommendation is Rockbound Lake. This is pretty similar stats to Burstall, but is actually a little bit longer. So this one is 18K with an elevation gain of 934 meters. So this trail has everything, and I love trails like this one. So it has a beautiful lake view, actually multiple lake views. I'm pretty sure that there's 3 lakes on this one. First lake that you come across is this beautiful like minty green lake. It is super clear water. You can watch fish swimming around and it's surrounded by larch trees. Once you finally hit Rockbound Lake, you know, because there is a beautiful larch forest up there. Again, you're surrounded by larch trees. The water is a beautiful turquoise color. I do recommend going to the lookout, and I told myself if I ever did this trail again, I would continue on to Helena Peak, also to Castle Mountain. That is my goal for this larch season. I don't know if it's going to happen because I do need a strong hiker to come with me that can do the distance, because that one is about 30K if you decide to do that whole loop, which I'm so down to do that whole loop. I am used to the 30Kers by now. So after you get to the lake, you continue on climbing up a little bit. It's not that far, maybe like 800 meters. It's, you know, a pretty steady incline up there, but it is on the All Trails map, and that's where you're gaining most of your elevation on this hike. And then you get to see the lake from up there. It is so gorgeous, seriously. And then on the way down, if you still have legs, definitely check out Silverton Falls. Silverton Falls is on the same trail. It's a little treat for you guys for finishing this hike, I guess. So my next one on this list is, okay, so it's a tie between these two about how hard they are. I'm gonna go with the less scrambly option as the easier option because I know a lot of you don't like to scramble. So the next one I have on this list is Lipalian Mountain or Purple Peak. So you don't have to do both Purple Peak and Lipalian. You can just do Lipalian if you want. But this whole area has tons of larch trees, and what I love most about this trail is that it's super quiet. There's not a whole lot of people on this trail. The last time that I did this, which was last year, there's actually only one other person on the trail, and he only went to Lipalian Mountain and then headed down. But the whole trail was empty. You get a nice view of Hidden Lake. This is located in Lake Louise, so if you want to venture out of the whole Kananaskis area, Banff area, you want to go a little further, this one is a great one. For this one, you do have to park in the Skokie ski area parking lot, and I'm sure in the wintertime this area is probably super, super busy. But when I did this back in the fall of last year, there was no one there. And of course, there's ski lifts and stuff in the area that you can view from when you're on the trail, but everything is closed. It's literally like a ghost town. And I love trails like that. I love it when it's like just me and my friend. It's super quiet on the trail, on the hike. And you know, you still get the large trees, you still get the beautiful views, but it's just so quiet. So there's something about that that I love. Okay, so this one is 14.81K with an elevation gain of 1,184 meters. So the only thing really challenging about this one is it's a lot of uphill. I think it's all uphill. There isn't really a spot where you can really say, oh, it's not steep there until you get to Lipalian Mountain and you're doing the ridge walk up to Purple Peak. Then it kind of evens out a little bit and it's not as steep, but the beginning is super steep after you pass the fire road. Also, this trail isn't really well marked at all, so make sure you have a map if you decide to venture out on this one. Make sure you're good with directions and that sort of thing, because you could potentially get lost on this trail and there's not a lot of people you can ask for help. So make sure you have a map, make sure you know, have a portable charger for your phone just in case it dies, anything like that. That is the best advice I have for you, but there is larches galore on this hike and it's stunning. Okay, so last one on my list. Okay, so I think this takes the cake for the most beautiful hike on this one. Okay, so this one is Smutwood. Smutwood Peak. I did this back in 2021 for Larch season. I only did it for Larch season, not knowing that there would be larches there actually. I only did it because the first time I did this hike was smoky. So I wanted to go back, do it again on a clear day. And it just so happened to be right before my birthday during Larch season. So I'll give you the stats on this one. This is the scramble. So if you're not comfortable doing scrambling, then I don't recommend doing this one. It is a pretty straightforward scramble. I don't think it's too difficult, but you definitely should be wearing gloves for this one. That's what I highly recommend, because you are going to be using your hands to climb over rocks. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely go for it. I love this hike. I've done it like 3 times now, and I've enjoyed it all times except for the last one where it was like really badly smoky. I did this in the smoke this summer and it was my least favorite experience of this hike, but I do love it. It's one of my favorites in Kananaskis, if not my favorite. And this one is 17.86K with an elevation gain of 964 meters. So again, kind of a longer hike. It is pretty, you know, uphill for a lot of it. The beginning part of this hike is pretty flat. It starts you off really easy on a fire road for the first 6K. You know, you're basically on the fire road in the forest and then through a meadow. That is like the easiest part of the hike, and then you near the end just gain your elevation pretty much all at once. But not really. I think that there's a part up there when you reach the saddle where it just sort of calms down a little bit. It's pretty flat. You get to enjoy the views of Birdwood Lakes. But then when you keep going and you reach the peak, it's just all elevation. It's a lot of uphill. And like I said, the last part is a scramble. So as far as the most exciting hike on this list, I would go for Smutwood. If you are not scared of scrambling and you want something cool, you want something, you know, that has varying terrain, which I love. Again, I love varying terrain. This one has waterfalls, this one has meadows, this one has larches, like larch forests, more meadows, lakes. It has literally everything, and that's why I love doing Smutwood so much. I don't think the stats on this one are necessarily correct, because every time I've done Smutwood, it's been 20K. Take these stats with a grain of salt. I got them from All Trails. For the most part, I should have given you guys my personal stats, but then I would have to look through, you know, tons and tons of hikes to look for each and every single one. So I tried my best. I gave you guys the All Trail stats. So give or take, you know, a few kilometers on each one. But that is my list, my top 5 hikes for Larch season. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I have a lot more hiking content coming, I promise, because I just have so many videos that I need to catch up on, and a lot of them are hiking videos. So that is all for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys soon. Bye.
I let you